Well, there it is. Hello, welcome to the Agrig Fun Games. Number 1. This is the first one of it, and it's going to be quite an interesting one indeed. We're going to be playing this on War 3 Arena. On the map, Upper Kingdom. It's a best of 3. This is a 3v3 with a twist. It's the good versus evil. So you've got the Orc. That's Thrall over here. You got the Human. That's Jaina. And we've got the Night Elf, Malfurion and Taronda. Remember those names? Well, it's from the Reign of Chaos, the last level. You might remember that. I'm sure most of you must have played the Reign of Chaos campaign. If you haven't, then bloody play it already, seriously. But yeah, the last level is very epic, beyond belief. It's essentially the case of good triumphant versus evil, unless you fail the level. Then I guess evil wins, and that's kind of the way we're looking at it from this point of view, because there's 3 sets of evil here, and they're all undead in balance. I mean undead. So the idea is we have Worker representing Thrall, the Orcs, as you can tell. He's going to be starting off probably with a bleed. Oh no, it's Tauren Chieftain, because of course 3v3. Sometimes you do see the Tauren Chieftain pop in there quite a lot. That aura is amazing. Plus he's also just a beast. And of course we've got look around. So I should tell you there, Worker. You got to look around here, otherwise known as Hawk. He's playing as Archmage here. Rather subtle start, I suppose. And we've got SK Hot. Probably Keep with the Groves start. Interesting. Not Priestess of the Moon start. And well, actually this is interesting. Would he go for Mass Huntresses? Because typically 3v3 games, Night Elf just pumps hunts. They go double Ancients of War and they just pump hunts non-stop. But when you're against triple undead that are likely to produce a large amount of fiends, those huntresses are going to get absolutely torn to pieces. So I'm curious, is he still going to stick forward with it? Okay, he's still going to Hunter's Hall, Ancient of War, and a Moonwell. So he might actually progress into a tech and just do a subtle Archer and Huntress here and there. Should be interesting to see how this first game goes, so we can get a bit of an idea as to how the rest of the games are going to progress. Because this is, like I say, a best of 3. And it's just 3 undead versus Human Orc Night Elf. Sounds like it should favour the Human Orc Night Elf, just because of the split teams and the split bonuses you can get from multiple races. But at the same time, undead, if they're all coordinating comfortably with the Death Knights, they can coil and keep each other alive for a relatively long time. If not indefinitely, they all get to like level 3 each. So, who's going on down here? You can't last hit that one. I think he's spell immune. No. Oh, yes he is. But you can get the peon. Oh, so close. Takes down 1 peon. Skeletons get in there as well, taking out another peon. And they might get another 3rd one as well. Unless he can dodge into the gold mine. Will he get away with it? Oh, yeah, I think he's going to get away with it. So 3 peons just about survive that. Securing an expansion. Death Knight being chased off by the Tauren Chieftain and Orc. A tech going here. No tech so far for Hawk. He's going to focus on getting that expansion. Does look like Huntresses at the moment for Hot with no tech intentions. Now we've got Sheik over here. He's the pink undead. I should turn the team colours on actually. That might help you guys out. Although, to be fair, it's kind of straightforward in this sense. I'll see how we get on and see what you guys think, but the team colours will represent what you see on the mini-map, and that might make it easier to identify what's going on. But, you know that it's triple undead versus human alliance. Human, orc, and... almost said undead. Night Elf. Lovely surround here. That's 1 Death Knight that's not going to get too much... coil! Oh, what the hell? I think something went wrong there. Okay. Looks like more creeping for Worker. Smart move. Tauren Chieftain. Build him up. Get the power going. Alright. Yeah, these guys are all the same colour now. If you want to see the individual player, no team colours. I think we can get away with no team colours on this map, simply, or this conditions, simply because you know, if you see undead, it's the other team. If you see anything that represents human, orc, or night elf, you know it belongs to the team. Just say team 1 versus team 2. There you go. The colours have been changed. We do have Hawk playing as light grey though. on this map. So good luck trying to find him on the terrain. There you go. He becomes a bit more visible if I do that. So I might toggle that from time to time, just so you can have a little bit of a gander. Footman stealing the moon juice. Interesting. Nice tree of life potential here. Hiding that, but at the same time aggressively placed towards the opponent. Surprised that didn't get scouted. I guess he just didn't want to put it right over there. We've got some sort of attempt to creep this middle spot, which might work if they can get us around off. Oh, wow. Yeah, the entangle actually works on a level 8. He's not magic immune, this guy. That should be a nice item dropping from there. The human... why do I keep trying to say undead? I've got to stop doing that. Human orc and night elf teams forming together to creep the middle. What the hell? Okay, that wasn't the most impressive item. But maybe this guy's got something better to drop. The good versus evil, that's right. Claws of attack plus 15. Eh, not bad. I think you could get a better item than that though, considering neither of these heroes particularly benefits from that claws. Take that, grunt. In comes the undead. They spotted this. Trying to get the last coil hit there, but that's no good. Maybe trying to get a block. Ah, no, he's the stomping. He's out. Looks alright for him. Although, there is a Nova. Oh my god, that was so close. That skeleton getting in front there. That was really good placement there. Just didn't quite manage to get it off because of the speed scroll. Really saved his bacon there. Okay, so we've got the tech finally going for Hawk. Blacksmith is being produced. Tech's already completed for Worker, making his way towards tier 3. I guess he's just still sticking it through with the Tauren Chieftain. Because the Tauren Chieftain gets that extra 15% experience whilst at tier 2, and then 30% bonus experience at tier 3 if he's the only hero. It's not only for the Tauren Chieftain, but in this case, he's only playing Tauren Chieftain. That is a lot of Fiends. That's what I expected to see. So, Death Knight, Lich, Fiends. You're going to see a lot. A lot of that. Welcome to Random Team. Although this isn't a random team, it's of course pre-arranged with some very good players going at it in some very bizarre situations, as we can see. Now, how are we going to try to defend this expansion? The Orc forces move forward. Book of the Dead from Happy trying to block off some of the forces, whilst the Fiends have got a perfect arc at the back here. Look at that! And all those Huntresses moving forward. Surely, oh, hello, what we got on it? Oh, the Tauren Chieftain, really nice there with this lightning shield, but he's going to take a lot of focus damage because of that. And oh my goodness, so many Fiends are being hit by this. The Huntresses are actually doing okay on the east-hand side, just starting to continuously push. The Fiends are being pushed back at this stage, and we've also got a Panda coming in with the Drunken Haze, just trying to keep those Fiends under control. One Lich, no, not quite. The undead forces have been repelled, which is unfortunate for them because the Alliance forces still have their expansions. And the Undead forces will need to damn well get some expansions if they want to stay in the game. Kodo Beasts coming in. This is where things get tricky, is where they can bring in units that provide an aura that benefits all of the races. Undead don't really have that luxury. They have the Death Knights with the Unholy Aura, but bear in mind that they've got 3 Death Knights all stealing or using, not stealing, but you know, using the same aura, so they don't benefit from each other's auras. They don't stack. The same auras do not stack, so the more different auras you can get, the better. The Alliance forces are really making use of heavy creeping here, and they're doing a great job of it. Footman in the front, Huntress is doing some damage at the back, even a Raider at the back there to get the ensnare off if need be. They've got a few ranged forces in terms of the Keep of the Grove and Talon, I believe, there, and the Archmage and whatever Water Elemental, so that helps versus the air. So they can pretty much clear up any creep camps on this map. Gonna need some real coordination now. I was about to say that last unit there is a Magnator Reaver or something like that. I can't remember the exact name, but it's actually, yeah, the Tome. Even the Tome of... oh, no! What? He's teasing us now. He's going to the Tauren Chieftain there. The rightful heir. Oh. Look at that. Level 4 straight to level 5. It's going to be level 3 Stomp unless he gets level 3 Endurance, but I think he went for level 3 Stomp. Nice. So I was going to say you can get a Magnator Reaver or something like that, which is immune to spells, which is obviously pretty good versus Undead. There are some 1 versus 1 maps where that Merc gets picked up versus undead players because they just can't coil it to last hit it or even do any damage. So it's a pretty solid melee unit that's immune to spells. Pretty valuable versus undead. Now these forces are going to be repelled because they are very, very vulnerable, and the undead actually do get to pick off the level 6 and a few bits out of it, as well as the stone token, so that's not bad. A little bit of a comeback there. Still no expansion secured for any of the undead players. As you can see, they're all empty. Tier 3, I imagine, is for everyone involved. You're going to hear the Orb of Qualms from those liches just going off non-stop. The orange one forgot to pick his up. But to be fair, when you've got that many, at least 2 of them, the focus fire is going to be pretty... oh, here we go. Trying to pick on a few scraggles coming around the corner here. Back to Worker, looking pretty solid though in terms of his forces. Quite meaty, but that he's going to need a lot to get through that. Let's see what his allies are bringing in. Lots of Huntresses, some Hippos, Dryads, Talons. Good mixture there. And the human forces are pretty simple at the moment, but I imagine workshops are in the way. Yeah, workshops are in the way, and we've got gyros with the flat cannons being researched. Very effective versus the destroyers. But this Fiends might be able to keep those gyros under control with that many of them. They'll definitely keep the Hippos under control for now. This is a really large force. That Tauren Chieftain getting blocked by the Water Elemental, coming forward there. Going to get his stomp in. He's got Lightning Shield on him right now. This is what I love to play with this Tauren Chieftain. He's so much fun. He's not even got the stomp on there yet. Oh, there we go. He's pushing forward with the stomp. We've already got undead forces going down. The Lich is down. The Stone Golem is going down. The Huntresses are pushing forward for the north side. Healing Wards being placed down. Taken down by a Worker. We've got more Fiend Micro at the back here, just trying to pull back. But down goes the Death Knight. No coils for you. It looks like it's over for the undead forces as the Alliance just push forward versus this. Just non-stop, relentless. The Destroyers are still going, though. They're not doing too bad in the middle, but they're going to have to contend with the Dryads in the middle as more of the undead flee. It looks like another victory for the Alliance. The Tauren Chieftain, almost at level 6 now. The chase is real. Few leftover forces.
A player's forces are under attack.
Ready to be picked off. He's trying to get up there to catch another, I reckon. Because he's got the power of Stomp, so he can get himself access to another unit, even the Death Knight if he's fast enough. But he decides to back off. So right now, back at the bases, we have Worker sitting at 50 food. Still with his barracks, going for Circus and Bestiary. More creeping over here from Hawk. He's going for the triple hero. Very powerful, actually. With the Paladin third hero, if he can control that accurately, which I assume he can, he'll be able to keep that Tauren Chieftain and Panda alive that much longer, as well as just be a burden to the undead with the Paladin heals. Okay, Animal War Training and Knights are just bolstering up the melee forces, while still with the triple workshops for a multitude of gyrocopters or tanks if need be. Both are good versus undead. Forcing an undead to build meat wagons would not be very beneficial for them, I would say. That wouldn't go too well. Mountain Giant coming out here. He's looking pretty big and strong. He should help out the Alliance forces stay alive that much longer versus any focus fire damage. Try to mitigate as much of it as possible. Flying machines with the 2 nil upgrades right now, looking pretty good. The Circus are bloody large. They're taller than the Grunts. Well, they would be, they're trolls, but still it looks a bit weird. Just focusing on that. We've got a little bit of a creep jack going on here. Happy being pushed back. Not allowed to creep off his nearest expansion. And denied the experience and the items of these creeps. Wander the Wind, not a bad item actually, to be honest. Can be very useful for keeping the undead under control. Send up the Death Knight. No coils for the rest of the forces. I think the Alliance are just going to look towards trying to creep. Excuse me. As whatever they can now and just clear up the rest of the map whilst they're still securing their expansions. Still lots of gold left in these mines. And the undead are just working on, you know, capitalizing from their expansions now. So they really want to make sure that they can hold their ground. And they need to get some Frostworms up. But again, the Gyrocopters keep that under control. The thing is human technically counter the undead quite powerfully in team games because it's easier for a human player to get mass gyrocopters. I call them gyrocopters, they're flying machines. or mass tanks, and there's not that much the undead can do about it. Oh, this is a nasty crit jack. Ortis is being pushed back here. Fairy Dragons even coming off here, giving some chip to the statues, as well as all the undead that are going to be casting those spells. Coil, Nova, take that. Oh, Workers expansion just going up, being caught by Happy, but he is also just about to catch Happy. And this looks like a situation where Happy's going to want to get out very fast or pick off whatever he can before he gets out. This is going to get ugly. And real quick, there you go, coil on the Lich and then a town portal just to make sure it's got as much health as possible before being focused down. Oh man. Right. One expansion already down. Steam tanks and meat wagons have been forced to be purchased. This is why I was going to say human are the bane of undead when it comes to team games. If it's just undead. If they had an orc, then you got bats versus the gyrocopters, or raiders versus the tanks. You know, those kind of mixtures, or got human for mortar teams versus the tanks. But undead don't have a really solid counter to tanks and mass gyrocopters. So if they feed human Hawk over here and give him as much sort of like resources as possible to pump out those gyrocopters, then he could definitely overwhelm them. But whether that will go through, bear in mind that the undead do have the chance to make a comeback here with the sheer power of their heroes being able to nuke down and basically pick off enemy heroes. If they can coordinate correctly, they can send off 3 coils and 3 novas onto one particular hero. It's pretty hard to survive that, but the timing will have to be absolutely impeccable. I just see a lot of undead teleporting at the moment. So many force backs. But at the same time, it is keeping the enemy busy and stopping them from progressing into future expansions, which they're trying to attempt, as you can see out here. But it's trying to keep that under control. And it's working so far. As long as they can continue affording town portals, they're going to get some use out of this. Although, they might have to respond to this big attack that's coming up on the east-hand side. We've got the Orc, we've got the humans, and we've got the Night Elf tailing behind. Now we've got the town portals coming in from the undead forces. They're looking pretty good here. The Abominations coming up into the front, all fighting on the Blight, try to stay that ground. Coming out a little bit aggressively, though. The Abominations need to just spread a little bit more so the Fiends can get the right angle. But the Tauren Chieftain right up there, reaching level 6. He's going to put so many stomps on. The Gyrocopter's giving so much jip to the Destroyers. We've got the Zerkers in the background. They're doing extra damage whilst they can. The Fiends and the Liches are trying to do some damage to these forces, but the Mountain Giants are also keeping this under control with those taunts. Definitely a nightmare to try to focus fire anything in this giant fight. Healing Wards coming down here, just making so much control. Meat Wagons at the back trying to do something, but not getting all that much done. The Tauren Chieftain's still giving so much jip. Even Demolishers coming in here from the other angle. And we've got more pushing forward, as we can see from the back there. So many Mountain Giants as well. This is definitely a force to be reckoned with. It's up to the undead heroes to try to stay alive, but I hear one Lich going down. They just need to try to hang in there as best as possible, give each other enough coils. Hopefully the towers can make some sort of way towards giving them those few extra kills they need to try to keep this under control. But at the moment, this is looking very tricky for the undead. The undead force is just desperately moving back and forth. The Mountain King, the Panda, closing in on the Lich. Mountain Giant throwing down the taunt. GGs are being thrown down as well. And there goes the first game in its best of 3. Upper Kingdom. Let's see what the other maps have in store for this racial combination. We're starting off with game 2 of Good versus Evil. So far, Good's doing pretty good with 1-0. And we can see Hawk, our human, starting off on the east-hand side. Below him, our yellow Orc worker. And to the left side of him, SK Hot, our blue Night Elf. He's sending out the Wisp. And he knows not to send it through the middle, like so many people accidentally do, and get it killed very, very quickly and easily. So, of course, we have our Undead, Stain Autist, Happy, and Sheik. Where's this Wisp going? I was curious to see whether anyone is going to try the Tavern Hero, including the Undead. I don't think they're going to change their strategy that much. I reckon they'll still stick to what they know, which is what I was saying earlier regarding the DK, Lich, Fiends, and statues, and just hope that that kind of works out for them. This map is, in a way, similar to the last map, Upper Kingdom, but it's a lot shorter, the distance between one another. And by that, what I mean is you can see the players, they're all next to each other, kind of like in Upper Kingdoms, they're right next to each other, but Upper Kingdoms is more stretched outwards, and the players, from one end to the other, again, Upper Kingdom is just stretched out. So, will that benefit the undead? We have to hope so, because they need something going their way. Now, they should be able to creep anything on this map so easily with fiends, and that's really the key, I think, is to push in creeping and push towards whatever the Alliance are going to creep. And just control them, just hold them, stop the Alliance from creeping, stop the Alliance from getting experience, and just keep them under control with the fiends, and maybe try to win the game there, or creep as much of the map so they can get the vital tech before the Alliance get to like tier 2, tier 3 and bring in those vital aura heroes and units, you know what I mean? Just the extra benefits that they can get as a multi-race. But they're already starting off their creep camps. Undead are obviously a bit slower, so it takes a bit more to get off the gate, out the gate. So they're starting off with this easy Furbolg camp nearby. Keep the Grove, checking the wilds, seeing if any undead are nearby. And it looks like an easy expansion at the moment for Hawk. Cannot let that stand. So we need to see some scouts, perhaps with skeletons. The undead only just getting the heroes out now. Ghouls are being favoured for both Happy and Sheik. Meanwhile, Autist is going with Fiends, so this will be a double Ghoul plus... Hello! There's no Dreadlord though. The Dreadlord there would just be like a guaranteed kill on that Keeper of the Grove. Oh! Yep, no, I spoke too early. There is a Dreadlord, but he's in the wrong place. These two need to swap. So he's just going to try to ignore that Keeper of the Grove, which to be quite frank he can. They can creep as well. The Alliance are taking on the Fountain of Health camp, which is a little early, but it's doable. You just got to be real careful, because those guys, they splash their damage with their lightning attacks. And Dane Autist taking the easier job of doing this with his Undead Imbalance, aka Fiends. Much more reliable. Happy's deciding to ignore that and go for the hero kill. No, because of course he's got the aura, as you can see underneath his hero, so he doesn't have the sleep. So I'm not sure why he even bothered to try to chase that. Tech. All the undeads are teching. Only OrcWorker so far is teching. Does look like a lot of Huntresses now for SK Hot. So that's Foggy. And he's going to be having an easier time with those Huntresses. To be fair, last game he had a pretty good time with the Huntresses, but this game is going to be even better for him. Because first is Ghouls. Huntresses eat Ghouls alive. So it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Keep that bad boy slept, I agree. He's got the mana burn. Very nasty piece of work. We've got some engagement in the middle here. Worker just trying to clear up this camp. Deal with the Shaman, get an item. And Skeletons have found the expansion, which still hasn't quite got up. There's more focus on the towers than there is even the expansion at this point. Wisely so. Try to get those towers up and do something with it. Probably needs a bit of a wood injection to make sure he can actually upgrade his tower. Okay. Undead Force is looking pretty reasonable. We've got just still the Keeper of the Grove, but he should be able to double pump out Huntress. Is pretty reliable at this stage. And, oh, 4 Grunts and a Tauren Chieftain. Should be pretty tough. Tanky. Level 3 exactly, so it's a really good spot for him. He's on level 1 Endurance Source. He's gone for level 2 Stomp, but he's being slept right now. That Arcane Tower, such a pain. This comes down to this attack, though. It really is important for those Ghouls to get in there and get into the mix. Meanwhile, the Fiends have to try to survive first as the Huntresses pushing forth on the east-hand side. Grunt's just trying to deal with the Ghouls amongst the gold mine. We've got Murlocs getting in on the action as well, apparently. The Tauren Chieftain always seems to find a lightning shield, doesn't he? Or at least one of his allies do, so they can place it on him, because there's no Shaman out yet. Now, we can see more and more skeletons all over the shop. Oh my goodness, there's no dust of appearance, I believe, for the Undead Forces, so they're once again being pushed back. Super struggling to do anything versus the Alliance and keep them under control. So many injured Ghouls having to return back to base and maybe have a swap over with the healthier Ghouls that are currently in the base right now. So that expansion looks like it's pretty secured. I'm surprised that almost wasn't a double Arcane Tower because of just how good Arcane Tower is against undead heroes. It's not like Guard Tower versus Fiends, so you could understand double Arcane Tower. level 3 Archmage in a moment. That's going to be level 2 Water Elementals. It's going to be very, very useful for creeping and just bolstering up the forces at the front line, making it more and more difficult for the undead to keep it under control until the undead can get their forces in check. Yeah, double Temple of the Damned and Slaughterhouse from Dane Autist, double Slaughterhouse and Gargs. So they're actually really mixing up their units a bit more in this game, and hopefully they have a bit more of a productive time with it. You can see they're putting efforts into trying new things, but they don't have an expansion at the moment, so this is a lot of buildings that I'm not sure they're going to be able to support it unless they've got a lot of resources feeding in between the other players, just to try to keep each other's resources and techs going. This is a brave move from Hawk. Archmage wants a piece. Death Knight spots him. The Sentry Ward belongs to Happy, so it belongs to the undead. So he's going to try to go for the coil. Gets it. And he gets a few footmen as well to pick on. Got to be a little bit careful with the Death Knight, but he's still so powerful that he can actually just run amongst this. Although, don't speak too quickly because he's still got himself into a bit of a pickle. But he needs to find a way. Thank you very much there, Lord Boris, for the subscription. He did actually manage to find a way to scrape out of that. And he's bolstered up with his Happy Undead, who isn't looking too powerful. And the Keeper of the Grove just tries to keep things under control. That Entangle is really vital for just sort of keeping the undead at bay. Gargoyles. Yeah. I forgot about the creep camps at this side and this side. I've not seen them, but I have to assume they're just a bunch of dragons. Maybe with a couple of trolls underneath. So that's possible.
The town is under siege.
Gargoyle's doing a good job keeping the Night Elf expansions under control, but we've still got this one over here. However, only 5,800 gold left in it, so that early expansion is only 7,500, which is, for your information, very low for a gold mine. The average is actually about 12,500. So the ones over here are like 10,000. The main bases typically have like 12,500 from their gold mine, so down to 5,000-ish gold. Still, 5,000 gold is a lot to play with at this stage of the game. Happy being caught by Hawk, getting to finish off this creep camp. Not good news for Happy. Probably just as well he teleported out because he would have just got more obliterated if Foggy caught up on him as well there. The Orc forces are looking pretty strong. Headhunters, Grunts, couple of Kodos. Level 4 Tauren Chieftain already. He's so key in these team games, it feels. And Undead with the coils and the Novas are powerful. But is it good enough? Let's have a look. What's this guy going to drop out of curiosity? It's a level 5 Soul Stealer. What's it going to be? Nothing. Well, that was disappointing, but I guess Hawk is pretty happy with all the items he's got currently at the moment. Keeper of the Grove looking a bit more sparse. And the Death Knight also looking very sparse. So, this is just a bunch of dragons. Totally doable if you can micro that. But at the same time, you do take a lot of splash damage from the dragons. And it might be even more tricky now that there's a force attacking on the left-hand side. Meat wagons, necros. One fiend down, though. And abominations to bolster at the front. He's going to have to make his go for it. He's going to have to make his move. I understand why he's trying to chop the trees, though, so he can get the items. Unless he can pull the dragons far back enough and then kill them, so they drop the items over here. But that's... we'll just have to see what happens. I think he's just going to go for it and keep chopping the trees. One Garg down, but at the same time, the dragons are dropping so quickly. I think the distraction is very strong, though. Mask of Death. Terrible for undead. Really awful item, that one. May as well just leave that there. Oh, I was hoping for something a little bit more useful for the undead forces, but... oh dear. Apparently not. Okay, so what are we doing over here? Level 3 Dreadlord, level 3 Death Knight, level 2 Lich. Meat Wagon is starting to make the push. It always feels like the undead have to make an impression on this. And it's not easy versus that many towers, as well as the forces that are going to be bolstering them. Oh, there's even a Wyvern in there. Why not? Okay. Gargs are moving in. Bottom flank. They're going to get pulled closer and closer towards this expansion. And it's going to take a while to go through those towers. They've got to hold their ground, but it's going to be so difficult to hold your ground. Because they're going to try to pull them. The Alliance are going to try to constantly pull the undead. It's what they want. Oh, that is a lot of skeletons. There's not actually much dispel at the moment for the Alliance side. So there's actually some pretty good uses to these skeletons for the moment. There's no Spirit Walkers. There's none of that. No Priests. No Dispel. So that's pretty handy. The Gargs have made their move, obliterating that Wyvern, and also going for the Kodos at the back, killing off the Aura. Very nicely done, as well as possibly taking away any Circus. With Meat Wagons now pushing. Now we've got the towers, but the Abos can tank that for a little bit. And the Skeletons are also pushing forward. Level 4 Death Knight being slightly focused here. Able to pull back enough. Demolisher coming in, but that isn't going to help all that much in this situation. It actually looks like the Alliance are getting pretty obliterated. The Gargs are just running amok, looking for things to kill. The easiest things for them to kill are the Demolishers right now going on that. And the Mortars at the back are running back to the help for the towers. Is that going to be enough to keep them alive? The Undead Forces will have the coils, though, to keep them under control if they need be. The Bats are coming in now. The Gargoyles are going to have to look out for this Bat engagement. Oh, it's looking for it. It gets a few bits of damage. One Garg down. The Gargs are looking a little bit more sparse now, and the Abos are still tanking quite well. The Mortars are in such a good position there by the towers, though. Tauren Chieftain's still just a beast. Needs to be kept under control. So difficult. The Undead are starting to fall apart a little bit here, and we can see that the expansion over for Foggy is finished on the bottom side, and there's still gold coming here for Hawk. The Guards are still running amok, but I imagine a couple more Bats might make that change. Although there's a Wyvern coming out there, not a more Bats progression. Meat Wagons are being pushed back. The Abominations cannot hold here for much longer. The Tauren Chieftain still not being contested with. The shot being a real pain. It might have been really handy to actually finish off that shot with the Meat Wagons before engaging, thinking about it. Because the amount of items that these Alliance players have been able to bail themselves out with. They keep going back off to the shop just to pick up healing potions, mana potions. And you can see it's helping to keep them in the game. Actually, that might have even cost them the game at this stage. But that was a good attempt from the Undead, but I think it's slowly starting to fall apart now as the Alliance hold their own. And they look like they've got a grip on the situation as the Undead are struggling to find their place as they lose more and more units bit by bit. The Mortar teams pushing them further and further back. So many injured units, just cannot progress any further at this stage. No units or hero kills to be had, even though the Undead are strong. They've lost so much mana from their heroes, and that Death Knight, oh, there's no bash proc, and he does get a coil to save him out. The Entangle coming in, and the Tauren Chieftain coming in with a stomp. Is he going to be able to get it off? The Death Knight's so quick. No, the Tauren Chieftain won't. And the Alliance hold true once again against the evil forces of Undead. More Abominations, more Necromancers, but the time is ticking, and I assume that some sort of counters are being produced. Spirit Walkers to deal with those Necromancers. Just the sheer Mortars can handle the Necromancers fairly well, though, because of the forces being all bunched up together. If you get Fragmentation Shards, which is the tier 3 upgrade, which he will have access to and almost definitely has already researched it with his Mortar teams, you do splash damage to medium armored units, and just general, you just do loads of damage. So it splashes nicely. So it's going to be really difficult for the Undead. This is their strategy, though, and they're sticking to it. I thought they had a really good opportunity there to really make a difference, and they're so close to doing it, but the human forces just stayed alive a bit too long, and like I say, that shot, I think, is what possibly allowed them to hang in there. The Ghoul coming in there to destroy the Mask of Death before the Tauren Chieftain can get in on it. Good job, Ghoul. Good job. We're going to actually have the dragons come out soon, and I don't know if the dragons really benefit the Undead. The aura would benefit them. You can't holy light the dragons, though. But at least if you bought the dragons, you stop your opponents from buying the dragons. 745 gold, and I think 120 wood is a lot for a unit, but dragons are ridiculously good, and he looks like he really wants it. Hawk gets the dragon. Pretty damn good for human. Paladin supporting the dragon alongside gyrocopters and tanks for anti-air support. It's just, yeah, it benefits human pretty greatly here to get those dragons. At least the Undead can get some bonus experience from creeping this. Who's going to be soaking it up? The Death Knights at level 4, hopefully getting themselves up to level 5 or building up closer towards it. Yep, level 5 now for Sheik's Death Knight. Ah, Tome of Power. Well, that's better than the Mask of Death, believe it or not, for Undead at least. That will boost you up by 1 level entirely. So it might be beneficial for Sheik to take it, since he's already just hit level 5 and he can tap off to level 6. But it's not like Undead. You know, Raised Dead is particularly great. Abomination's catching some frisky huntresses. Even the skeletal mages actually managed to pick off a talon there as they try to flee. Alrighty. Did that go to the Dread? Oh, it went to the Dreadlord. I didn't even pick up on that. That's fantastic. I'm really happy with that choice. That's a level 6 Dreadlord. At least we get to see Inferno. The demonic forces are here. Now this could actually be a really good place to fight because they're out of their element. Catch them now and try to do some awesome damage if you can. It'd be fantastic. This is now your time to shine. Get some damage done. There's even knights left over at the back here. This is really looking good for the undead. If they can get a critical sleep on one of the most important units, even the Tauren Chief will be fantastic. I think that's what he really wants. Catch him out. But he has got the town portal, so just pick off anything. Just sleep everything. Pick it all off one by one. This is your time. They're fleeing now. They're trying to get into position. This is a great moment to just get some free kills and get the power that you need. Alright, we have got a dragon foot of the abominations. And the knights are being spotted. So they're going to be free meat. As well as the expansion, which is going to be exposed. But they've got to be careful that they don't get caught off in their position here. Just trying to chase a bunch of knights around. Yeah, that's probably better to just focus down the expansion now at this stage. Secure the kill on that. Bear in mind that this expansion is going down. And now we've got this one over here to concern ourselves with as the undead. That's what their thought process is. So many gargoyles. I'm surprised we haven't seen that many gyrocopters. Has he got many flying machines? Oh, he's got a few, but that's still not that great for the amount of gyro. Although bats softening up, but I don't know if Worker wants to keep going bats. I mean, they are very good versus the gargoyles, but it's a bit of a risk because they're disposable units. The Unholy Frenzy. Okay, they've got to get a good position. The Alliance want to fight by the fountain. This is kind of a tricky position that the Undead have found themselves in. They're going to have to renegotiate this position. The Gargoyles are looking really vulnerable right now, especially that bat comes in. The flak cannons from the Gyrocopters doing massive damage to those Gyrocopters. Oh my goodness, all those Gargs are going down. Absolutely obliterated. But the Infernal and the bat lines of the Alliance doing massive damage to the Headhunters. And we've got some lots of damage going off here. Happy with the 200 mana, hopefully getting off some awesome sleeps. Keep that Tauren Chieftain under control. He is currently slept right now, but he is getting dispelled so he can throw down the stomp. Death Knight in a lot of trouble here. Is there any coils to back him up? No, there isn't. And the flak cannons from the Gyrocopters just going to obliterate even the dragon itself. There's not much that can stand up against this Alliance force when it's arcing in such a fashion. Panda just trying to be kept under control as well. The Dreadlord can only sleep so much, and it looks like the Alliance has dealt with the evil forces, and it's all about cleaning up the scraps at this stage. The expansions all belong to the Alliance. The undead brought down by the area of effect damage of a mortar. That is some large splash. That's the fragmentation shards. That is some large splash right there. Well, they're going to make a go of it. But currently, right now, this looks very, very good for the Alliance. The evil has been vanquished. Not even the Inferno. The demonic forces aiding them could hang in there and keep them changing the tide of the battle. It just could not be done. So many buildings here for Foggy to focus on, especially with that expansion. He'll be able to produce anything he pretty much wants now. Mountain giants, fairy dragons, talons, whatever really suits the need, I suppose. Talons would actually be pretty good versus the abominations, because I don't think there's that many destroyers for the undead forces. Destroyers won't hold up anyway versus that many flying copters now. Yes. This is very similar to a movie where good must triumph in the end. Otherwise everyone just feels bad. Panda really not sticking true to his peaceful morals, and he decides to kill off one of his archers. I guess she just back-talked him or something. I love that level 6 Dreadlord. The Ickle Green Dragon Whelp. I think that's like 190 gold or 180 gold. Poor little bugger. He tried, didn't he? but he couldn't get it to change. It's time to slaughter the peasants. You've worked for us long enough. We're finished with you now. Your services are no longer required. Now, is this really good? Are these forces really fighting for justice? Is this evil that's actually going to win? Because that's a lot of slaughter right there. It's not even got that much wood. So who's the real good guys here and who's the real bad guys? Level 7 Tauren Chieftain with the mana potion. Belt of giant strength, ring of protection +3. Ugh, goodness me. That is a beast and a half. Don't forget he can be supported by the paladin. Level 2 holy light, so that's an extra 400 healing. Just so good.
A player's forces are under attack.
One gyrocopter kill. Not sure that's going to change everything. I think this expansion actually got missed by the Gargs. I guess the Gargs weren't floating over it, but they're about to float into the Nether when these gyrocopters catch up. Oh dear, this is not good. Okay. The Alliance are just all over this place. And I guess the undead are going to go for one last final attack. Unsummoning the majority of their buildings to get whatever they can. So many ghouls, few abominations, a nice mixture of necros alongside the meat wagons. Level 6 Dreadlord. Level 5 Death Knight. Level 4 Lich. Where's, yep, he's over here. He needs a town portal. He needs the town portal. He's not going to do it though. He's going to take his chances, and I don't know you should. Okay. He's going to get away with it, but that was a fair bit of damage. But I guess that was worth it. You did kite them for a while there. It allows you to take out the expansion over here, but there is a town portal. Oh my goodness. That would have been interesting if that town portal went off, because only one of the people would have town portal to it. So I actually probably would have let that go off if I was the undead. Just so you could pick off the one guy that decided to town portal to it. Or at least try to catch him. There's a nice kite here from Sheik. He did actually manage to get away with that. And he's going to try to do a little bit of damage here before I definitely have to pull back. Because the forces will gather up. And no, you won't get away with that. I thought you might go for some of the peasants. Okay. Oh, we got chimeras in there. Ooh, that's interesting timing. Chimeras will eat ghouls alive. They can basically just like 1 to 2 shot ghouls. It's crazy. The amount of splash damage they do. Because ghouls have heavy armor and chimeras do massive magic damage, which does bonus damage. It does 200% bonus damage to the ghouls' heavy armor. There's a massive attack coming in here. If this becomes a base race, the undead are not going to win it, so they might have to respond in this case. Are they going to group together, go for a town portal? They get kited back and the Alliance forces town portal out. This is tough. I think they're actually making a run back. It looks like a very long run back. And they could just be played around with, toyed around with here, because the human Alliance forces have so much gold to play with these expansions. It's just crazy. So the amount of town portals they can buy and kite. Foggy's not even joining in on this battle. It could just be a 2 versus 3 at this stage. The forces at the moment for Worker matching up to 50 food. Hawk at 88 food. Autist with 49 food. Happy with 60 food. And Sheik with 27 food. So they haven't got the largest forces anyway, the undead. Tauren Chieftain does decide to town portal out. No kills granted. Is there any good against the human? The sleeps must go off. There must be some pick-offs here. An attempt to kill whatever you can. Grab it whilst you can. I think more ghouls are going to die in the process than the human units though. And the Alliance have managed to back off. One expansion might actually go down here. shame mining. The upgrades on these ghouls aren't particularly amazing. 0-1. Oh, that Lich! So caught out there. The Inferno drop is nice, but that Lich kill was pretty rough. The Chimeras are going to go so heavy on those ghouls on the east-hand side. Oh, it's going to be an absolute slaughter. The Acolytes aren't going to pull anything in here. So many dragons. Level 10 dragons eating up all of the abominations right now. Obliterating 3. So that's 12 food already of Happy's gone. And the Alliance are pushing back the undead forces. And the GG Stormbolt. Sleep on the Tauren Chieftain. Dreadlord is the real winner here. Okay, well, there you go. The best of 3. Good versus evil 3v3. Part of the Agrig Fun Games. Thank you very much to Arthur Agrig for sponsoring this event. $150 goes to the winning team. Congratulations indeed. And let's have a look and see whether there was any resources split between the undead. That's kind of what I'm curious about. The humans, or rather the Alliance, definitely split a lot of resources. Look at that. So many resources. And the undead didn't have as many resources to play with to split, but they still all did do their bits to try to push other players. There's clearly a lot of gold traded over to try to get those Gargs going, I guess. Well, there it is. Well, thank you very much for watching. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed it, and have a great day. Bye-bye.